Using the vector tools is a very effective way of creating a cartoon character like this one, for example, but it's still very computerized. It doesn't look natural in respect of, doesn't look like someone's grabbed a pencil or maybe even a crayon and created something on a piece of paper. So to make it look a little bit more like that, if you select on your shapes, you'll notice where you've got your fill color, where you can choose from the palette and you can choose gradient effects. You've also got beneath it an edge and a texture. Now the texture is currently in grain, but the reason why it doesn't look like that over here, like a grained effect, is because this is set to 0. So if I drag that up to 100, for example, it'll put an effect on it. So it doesn't quite look like what I'm hoping it to look like. So I'm going to go and click on grain and look at the various different options available to us. And as you can see, as you hover over them, you get a preview on the right hand side of what that effect actually looks like. So if I click on scratch, it gives you the effect where it looks a little bit as if it's been coloured in by a crayon or a pencil. It automatically puts it to 50%, but if I put it up to 100, then when I click away you can see that it has that effect. But the problem is, the outer line still looks as if it's been generated by a computer, as it has. So where we change the texture for the inside of the shape here, the fill, you've also got texture for the border. So if I use the same texture again, I use scratch and I put it up to 100 and I just click away, you can see then that the outer line looks as if that's also been done by a crayon or a pencil. A couple of other things before we start talking about blends. For the edge of the shape, which is basically the outer part of it, there's 3 options. Anti-layers, which is soft, hard, or feather. When you click on feather, it does add a little bit of a smudge on the end of your picture. Not very noticeable at first, but if you increase it from 10, say, to 50, it gives you that impression that it's kind of a messy colouring, as if like a youngster or maybe even a nursery child has tried to colour in between the lines, but it's been a bit kind of scruffy. So that's one thing you could do or not do. And then lastly, with the border, where the edge is here set to 0, if we put that right up to the top to 100, you'll notice then the edge becomes a little bit softer in terms of it's not quite as thick as it was beforehand. Now once you've done that to all your objects, you'll eventually have something which looks like that there. Okay, so that's basically all scratched done on everything, including the white as well, but you can't really see it very well on that, so it's a bit pointless in doing it. Now the reason why I've done this is because I wanted it to give the impression that in the wall beneath the window, in the corridor at the end of the upstairs of the new block, the ICT department, then I want to give the impression that there's been graffiti put onto the wall. So if I click on import, then I find the image I want to import, and then this shape which has appeared is basically the top left hand corner of the picture which I'm going to bring in. And when I click there, then it appears. Now clearly it doesn't look like it's been graffitied. It's obviously a picture which I've just dumped on top of this here. But as you go through, when you click on the shape and where you've got your textures across here, you've also got this, which says, always says normal, and standard is your blend mode. And as you click on those, and you click on the different options, you'll see that you can kind of manipulate these, or just basically select from the list to find something which looks as if it has been actually graffitied onto the wall. Now, as you go through and you find different options, you'll get to the point where you think, well, actually, that one looks like it has actually been graffitied onto the wall. Some obviously not, but it's down to you to have a look through those blend modes to see if you can find one which gives that impression.